So I thought I would make this video to share with you some of the struggles and how I overcame them when trying to load LUTs into my Nikon ZR. Obviously, this happens to me because I'm not a Nikon shooter. Never prior to the ZR have I ever shot a Nikon ZR. So hopefully this helps someone who is in a situation similar to me, where you've never shot on a Nikon, and this might help fast track you to where you need to be. Today, specifically, we're going to be talking about adding the red creative LUTs into the camera so that we can use them when we're monitoring. Because one of the big shortcomings, in my opinion, with the Nikon ZR are its exposure tools. So the more I can get a sense of what my final image is going to look like, the more confident I'm going to be as I continue to learn this Nikon system and shooting with it and exposing with the very limited tools that this camera offers. Because you don't always want to attach an external monitor. And then also the HDMI, for whatever reason, like this monitor can only read the 1080 version of the signal. It can't read the 2160 version, which would be the Ultra HD. And just as a side note, if this camera was born in cinema, or say cinema camera, why doesn't it have, 6K DCI? There are no DCI options. It's like 16:9 only. Whatever. Let's move on. So the very first thing that we need to do, and I'm going to be jumping from this shot to showing you the overlays because I'm recording on an external monitor, and then also my display as we go through the different steps. So step one is go into the camera menu, click on the hamburger, that's the 3-line button in the back. So the hamburger menu, press and hold it, and now we see the actual menu. The very first thing we have to do is format the card. So to format the card, you go to the wrench icon. It is the very first item at the very top. So I'm going to select Format Memory Card. You see, I do have a microSD card in there, which you can use if you want to load your LUTs to it. It seemed to work for me. But basically, we would just format them. And here we would say, yes, this is the microSD card. And now that that's formatted, I'm going to format the CFexpress card. Now here you have two options. You could do the quick format or you could do the complete format. I'm going to tell you that based on my experience shooting with red over a long period of time at this point, I've always had much more success and no issues whatsoever when I choose to do a full format, even though it takes a couple seconds extra. So I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do quick format. I want to do the full format, which means I need to press the F3 function button. That brings me to this new menu. I can now say yes. And now you can see how long this is going to take to format a 1 terabyte card. Still formatting, and boom, we're done. So once we do this, now we can actually exit here. And now you can turn off the camera and eject your card. So let's do that now. And of course, with the way that this plate works, I need to actually take my camera off to get the card out. Now we're able to actually move in and add this. I need a card reader. I'm going to use the Angelbird card reader, which works really well. It's pretty quick. Okay, good. So now what I need to do is I need to go and get the actual creative LUTs from Red. So I'm on Google and I just typed in download Red creative LUTs for Nikon ZR. This gives me the exact link that I need. So here you're going to see that you have two different options. The IPP2 output presets, which work terrific in Resolve, but will not work on your Nikon ZR. So we need the Red Creative LUT kit. I'm going to click on it. This is going to ask me to log into the Red website. I've now already logged in, and you can see here I can download the Red Creative LUT kit. So I'm going to go ahead and click download. I have to agree to the terms. I would suggest that you read the terms. And now here's the file that I just downloaded. So I'm going to unzip it. I'm going to open up that folder. And now here we have, essentially all the information that you can need about understanding how to use these different LUTs. We need the IPP2 Creative LUTs that have the 709 conversion, which is the second folder, the one with a lot more writing on it. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to open. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to look at list view. And now here we could see all of the different LUTs that are available for us to upload into our Nikon ZR. So this other side here shows my card, the Nikon ZR. And if I click on the Nikon folder, you see I have this ZR folder. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it LUTs, all capitals. Okay, now I'm going to open up this folder, and this is where I'm going to drag in the LUTs that I want. So I know that I want the base LUT, and I know that I want the film bias, all three of those, and I also want Narcissus, and I want Supercolor and ST4. I'm bringing those over. Now I'm going to change this again to list view, and here they are. I saw a video earlier, which I'll post in the description below. He had a great suggestion, which is basically you could simplify these names by removing all the extra, because there is a lot to read, and honestly, it doesn't change or make any difference if you do this. So I would go ahead and do that too. That was a terrific suggestion from his video, so thanks for sharing that. And basically just rename the LUTs to something that still makes sense so you know which one you're using, but doesn't have all the extra characters. And that's what I'm doing now. And bam, that's all you have to do. Now we can go ahead and eject this card and put it back on the actual camera. So I'll go ahead and eject it. Card is ejected. Now we can go ahead and move on back to the camera, which again, the way that this plate works, and because the card is below, I have to take it off of the tripod, which is not awesome. I don't love that, but is it a deal breaker? We get used to the things that we get used to, and that's just the way that I was not used to that. So it is what it is. Let me just get this back in focus. Okay, good. Now we can go ahead and start going through the menus once again so that we can begin to add the files. Now watch this. Oh, did I add all of them? That's going to create a problem for me. I'm going to explain to you why here. So let's jump into the menu. Okay, we're in the menu. So now I'm going to go into the pencil icon menu. My camera is already set, and I should show you this. It's already recording in R3D full frame 6K, right? So that you need to make sure that you're in that mode, otherwise the LUTs are not going to work. Then we go into the pencil icon, and we go all the way to the bottom, which is G, that's video. It's really interesting the way they do these color things in Nikon, but again, we all get used to what we get used to. From here, we then go down to View Assist. View Assist must be turned on. Then we go to 3D LUT. We go into this menu, and we could either select the LUT, which I already have several that I've uploaded, or we import a cube file. So from here, I'm going to select Import Cube File, and this is what you're going to notice. You have this ._red and all these LUTs that I added, right? And then you have a few that are available without the underscore. But what you're going to very quickly notice, and this is something that wasn't super intuitive to me in the beginning, is that you're only able to display a total of 10 from your card, even if you have more than 10 that you added to your card. And because it shows you all these ._files, which a dot in front of a file typically means it's a hidden file, except the camera clearly can see the hidden files. It will only let you display 10. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'm out. So even if I wanted to import the red base LUT, it's not available to me because the hidden files took up some of the slots. And maybe that's something that Nikon can fix in the future so that if we add 10, we can see 10 and select 10 to import. So just be aware of that, right? So you might have to do the card, take the card in and out multiple times to get all the LUTs that you want imported into your camera, which is what happened to me. And why it is that I'm making this video, because again, it wasn't intuitive, at least not in the beginning. So once you select the LUT that you want, so let's assume that I successfully loaded the LUTs that I want, I have access to them, and I want to add them, you highlight it, you press enter, and then you have to select one of the open spaces. So mine are all taken up already, but this is the one that I wanted to import. So then I would just press enter. It's going to say overwrite. It would be as available or empty if you have room. But if you want to overwrite something, this is how you would overwrite it. You press yes. And it's imported. Now you can go up to select the LUT. And then from select the LUT, I can select the LUT that I want. I just need to make sure there's no confirmation that that's what it's giving you. So I like to always double check. And once you're ready, then you can go back to shooting. And now in the back of your screen on your camera itself, you'll be able to preview what that LUT looks like. If you're curious about whether the camera can output the preview LUT to your external display, the answer is no, it cannot. Hopefully you found this a little helpful. I know that it tripped me up for a minute or two. And again, not being a Nikon shooter, it took a moment and a little bit of research, and thankfully a couple of really useful videos on YouTube to help me get to this point. So I'll catch up with you guys on the next one. Take care.